Hello and welcome. Many people often say that paying rent is like making the landlord rich or helping the landlord build their house equity. But is that statement really true? Let us find out in this video through a very simple exercise based on a real life example. I will pick a location and compare the rent of a 2-bedroom 1300 square feet apartment to the cost of owning a 2-bedroom 1300 square foot apartment in the exact same location. I will calculate the net monthly cost of owning an apartment by adding all the costs such as property tax, property insurance premium, HOA fees, maintenance and repair cost, interest cost, and opportunity cost on the down payment. Then I will subtract the tax advantage and the price appreciation of the property. This will give us the net monthly cost of owning a house that does not actually build your equity, but instead flushes that money away. We will compare that monthly cost of owning to the rent you would have paid for a similar property. Before we begin, I want to clarify that this video does not advise you whether you should buy a house or rent one. There are both financial and non-financial considerations to take into account before making a decision. Instead, in this video, I'm sharing a framework for estimating the cost of owning a house and comparing it to renting. You can also download the framework I used in this video through the link in the description below. With that said, let us get started. My name is Kanak and welcome back to my channel. For more content from the world of finance and investing, subscribe to my channel. Alright, for our example, I will pick a 1300 square feet 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in the Fremont, California area. This is a very popular area where many Silicon Valley tech workers live. Additionally, it is where Tesla's first manufacturing factory was built, which even today remains one of the Tesla's most important factories. Okay, firstly, as you can see on the screen, the rent for a 1300 square feet 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in the Fremont, California area is about $4,000 per month. Built in the exact same location, a 1300 square feet 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment will cost about $1 million US. Now let us break down the cost of owning this $1 million apartment into monthly expense. Let us assume that you make 20% down payment, which means you pay $200,000 upfront and borrow the remaining $800,000 at 5% interest rate. Although the current interest rate in the US is higher than 5%, we will assume you have a great credit score and you have secured a very favorable deal on your house loan. Now what you see on the screen is the framework to compare the monthly cost of ownership. We will fill out all of the cost in this sheet and then compare the monthly cost to the rent. Alright, the first cost is property tax. In California, the average property tax is about 0.71% of the total property value. This results in an annual property tax cost of $7,100, which means you will pay about $592 each month in property taxes. The second cost on the list is homeowner's insurance. The average homeowner's insurance is about $1,300 for a $300,000 property. So, for $1 million property, the homeowner's insurance would be about $4,333 annually, or about $361 each month. The third cost on the list is HOA, which stands for Homeowners Association. This is a monthly payment that the homeowners make for the maintenance of common areas and public amenities in the community. As you can see on the screen, the HOA cost for this property is about $604 per month. The fourth important cost is maintenance and repair. On an average, the maintenance and repair cost in the US typically ranges from 1 to 4% of the property value each year, and which varies based on various factors such as the age of the property. For our example, we will assume an average cost of 2% of the property value, which is roughly about $20,000 annually. This means you will spend about $1,667 each month on maintenance and repairs. The fifth cost is interest. In the first year, you will pay about 5% interest on the $800,000 of your home loan, amounting to about $40,000 in total. This translates to about $3,333 each month in interest cost. Now, one of the advantages of buying a house is that property taxes, insurance premium, and interest payments are tax deductible. Assuming a 25% marginal tax rate, your tax bill will be reduced by 25% on your interest payment, property taxes, and insurance premiums. So 25% of your interest, property tax, and home insurance would translate to about $12,858 in tax savings annually. This means you will save about $1,072 each month on taxes. We will subtract this tax advantage from our cost. Another important cost that many people overlook is the opportunity cost. If you had invested that $200,000 of down payment into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund based on historical long-term returns, your money would have grown by about 7% annually after adjusting for inflation. So 7% of $200,000 means you are losing about $14,000 annually by not investing in the stock market. This translates to about $1,167 each month in opportunity cost. Finally, one advantage of owning a house is the appreciation of its value. Over the long term, house prices in the US have appreciated by about 4.5% annually, while the long-term average inflation rate has been about 2.5%. After subtracting the inflation, the net house price appreciation in the US has been about 2%. This means your property's value will appreciate by about $20,000 annually. So, on a monthly basis, your property's value is increasing by about $1,667. We will subtract this house price appreciation from our cost. Now, adding all the cost and subtracting the advantages, the net monthly cost of owning a house is $4,985, which is almost $1,000 more or 25% more than the $4,000 of rent for a similar property in the same location. So this analysis shows that the commonly assumed idea that paying rent makes the landlord rich might not necessarily always be true. Now, before we jump to conclusion, let us change the interest rate in our calculation and see what happens. In our previous calculation, we assumed a 5% interest rate. But what if the interest rate was only 2%? The result would be different. As you can see, with a 2% interest rate, the monthly cost of owning the house is about $3,485, which is almost $600 per month cheaper than renting. This shows that cost of owning a house versus renting varies based on several key factors, with one of the most important being the interest rate on your home loan. The second important factor is the price at which you buy the house. If you are lucky and purchase a house at the bottom of the housing market crash, like in 2008, or if you buy a distressed property at a discounted price, then buying a house might be financially better than renting. Additionally, or if you work in the real estate industry and have an edge over others, allowing you to find and purchase an undervalued property at a significant discount, that would also result in a financially smart decision. However, similar to the stock market, it is not easy to know the right time to buy a house, and not everyone has the skills to identify and purchase undervalued properties. When you buy a house, you also restrict yourself to a particular geographical location, reducing your ability to move around freely. And you will be investing a large proportion of your personal net worth into your house, potentially leading to a very concentrated investment in your real estate portfolio. These are some of the risk factors that you should consider when deciding whether to buy a house or not. In addition to financial factors, there are also non-financial considerations such as your age, risk appetite, stability of your income, life goals, lifestyle that determine whether you should buy a house or not. That's all for this video. If you find this video helpful, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.